we're still going? Okay, my bad. My bad. I thought we were at on ad. You're good. You're good. Sorry. And we are back in here as I'm going to get rolling on the keys to the game here in the starting lineups. My bad, everybody. Miscommunication on my part there. Cassidy Briss for the, sorry, let me get this going a little smoother here. For the Pine River-Backus Tigers, the home team here tonight in the first round of the playoffs. Starters are going to be number 3, Cassidy Bristow. Number 4, Kaylee Johnson. Number 6, Mimi Bukers. Number 11, Ella Dahl. Number 14, Callie Norman. Number 21, Ariana Burns. For the East Central Eagles, starting tonight, we'll have number 23, Chandra Nelson. Number 24, Lydia Fernango. Number 28, Mallory Hartle. Number 21, Elsie Lorson. Number 5, Kennedy Volk. And number 12, Madison Kuhlman. Those are our starters for tonight. For the keys to the game for the Tigers, they've got the numbers advantage in terms of actually just having more players, more depth to cycle through. Of course, they do have some very skilled players right up at the top of that roster. Thinking of like the Cassidy Bristow, Kaylee Johnson. But with the Tigers, you have the privilege of not having to, play through the same players on every possession because you do have so many talented, so many skilled players on this roster. They really do have the freedom to kind of drive their offense through anywhere. So for the Tigers, I would say spread the ball around is my key to the game for them. And then defensively, just, stay in your zones. Don't get too aggressive on those defensive plays. I've seen the Tigers have it happen where 2 players end up going for the same ball, they crash into each other, and the ball hits the ground. So for the Tigers, it's just play your zones and on defense and offensively, spread the ball around, keep it unpredictable for this East Central volleyball team. Now, for the Eagles, on the flip side, they're on the road here, hostile territory, a very hard team to beat at home here is the Pine River-Backus Tigers. And they don't have the depth that the Tigers have. So I would say for the Eagles, you're going to want to run the offense that's had the most success for you this season. Go to your highest percentage players, your highest percentage plays. If you have a stud on the Eagles that just, gets kills and gets the ball moving here early against the Tigers, I would feed them the ball. Just keep going to where you know works. Make them stop you from doing what you want to do. If I know it's like the opposite game plan I'm giving the Tigers, but the Eagles don't really have the depth that the Tigers have. They don't even have 2 full rotations to put on the court. So for the Eagles, find a player that's in a groove and feed them the ball. Defensively, same thing. I think the best way to play defense is to keep the ball on the other team's court, and just stay in your zones. Don't get too aggressive. Don't get out of position. I'm not a professional volleyball coach by any means, but I think pretty much traditionally in every sport that is, team versus team, defense is all about the fundamentals. So just stick to those, and you should be all right defensively. Offensively, feed whoever's hot. Those are my keys to the game here for both teams tonight. A pregame today is brought to you by Station 371. Restock on food, fuel, and bait at locally owned Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Station 371 has bait and tackle quality Cenex gasoline and is the only area fuel station with kerosene and off-road diesel. Station 371 in Pine River. Thank you very much, Station 371, for letting me be here and do my job. We're going to cut to a break here in just a minute and and then when we come back in just a minute, we'll have our opening serve after this.
Of the Tigers. Like them on Facebook for events and fundraisers. The PRB Boosters could use your help. Be part of great events and fundraisers, all built to give back and present more opportunities for the students of Pine River-Backus schools. For information or to get started, email prboosterclub1.com. Meetings are the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at the school. Good luck, Tigers, from the PRB Boosters. The PRB Boosters are happy to sponsor coverage of the Tigers. Like them on Facebook for events and fundraisers. The PRB Boosters could use your help. Be part of great events and fundraisers, all built to give back and present more opportunities for the students of Pine River-Backus schools. For information or to get started, email prboosterclub1.com. Meetings are the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at the school. Good luck, Tigers, from the PRB Boosters.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Minnesota.
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Activities Administrators Association.
Great people, economic viability, a wonderful place to live. Pine River, Backus, and PRB Schools. PRB Schools is a small school district with large district opportunities, providing activities and classes that involve students, making sure every student has everything to be successful. PRB Schools also offers a variety of community ed programs, a great way to learn new skills hands-on with others within the community, making connections with families, being involved with the community, becoming a community family. prbschools.org. This year, Shrub Excavating is celebrating 40 years of digging it right. With this milestone year, Shrub Excavating wants to thank all of their past, current, and future employees and customers. They appreciate all you've done to help Shrub Excavating become one of the most trusted companies in the Lakes area. For any excavation project, Shrub Excavating will have your project done right and on time, serving Pine River, Backus, Pequot Lakes, and all the surrounding communities. Shrub Excavating LLC. Online at shrubexcavating.com.
All right, we are back here in Pine River as we get set for the opening serve here in just a moment. Just listen to the national anthem. They're going to run through the starting lineups here real quick. While they do that, I'm going to talk to us all a little bit about these teams' 2 seasons that they've had so far leading up to this point. For the we'll start with the road team here. The East Central Eagles here. This is a little bit of a rematch. So there's 11 players on this East Central roster. That might be really bad math. I don't know. I only count 11 that I have on my little roster sheet here. It looks like there might be 12 on the court right now, so I might be missing one player's name. But still, 11, 12, 5 of those players are seniors. They'll be graduating this year. They'll have 6 or 7 returning seniors coming back not returning seniors coming back next season. Returning players in general coming back next season. So for East Central, they really felt this year they needed to capitalize on the experience that they had on the team. 5 out of 12 players are seniors. really need to capitalize on that talent. 4 of those seniors are going to be in the starting lineup, and all 5 of them will be seeing the court here tonight. In terms of how the season has gone, it started out really well. 8-3 start to the year, including an early tournament for the East Central Eagles. Let me get this accurately in front of us here. So for the East Central Eagles, it'll be a 13-14 season. They went 4-6 in the conference. It started out with a big 6-game tournament at Floodwood, where they went 5-2 at that tournament, 7 games, and a very strong start to the year. They then followed that up with 3 consecutive wins in single game evenings or matchups. Oh, they went 3-2 in their next 5 single game matchups to cap off a very solid 8-4 season start. However, since then, it's been a lot more L's than W's for the Eagles, as they dropped a tournament in Crosby on September 14th, where they lost to the Tigers. They also lost 2 more games in that tournament for a total record of 2-3. And with that, I'm actually going to cut this off early. We got the girls on the court here, getting ready to go for this playoff volleyball game here tonight. And we await opening serve as Ashlyn Lowe comes onto the court for the Eagles. She'll be the libero tonight. And the Eagles will serve here. And Evelyn gets under it. Johnson sets up for Bristow immediately. It's slammed back in her face, though. Bristow able to float it back over after the big block. And a cross-court shot from the Eagles. Caitlin Riley's just going to be content to get this one back over. And a little floater. Ella Dahl's able to get it back to the other side, but the Eagles are going to take the first point here against the Tigers on the road. So the Eagles will hold serve. And with a little bit of trickery, Cassidy Bristow is going to get her first point of the evening, as she hits a little floater that puts the defense in an awkward position. So it'll be 1-1 to start the game here. Evelyn serves for the Tigers. Set up left side. They're going to just float it over. Kaylee Johnson sets up backwards for Cassidy Bristow, and a great dig attempt, but it wasn't enough to stop Bristow, and already 2 points for Cassidy Bristow. Evelyn serves again. Gets over the net, a little bit of a line drive. Set up backwards here for the Eagles. Defended well by Riley. Bristow in the middle is going to shoot that one too deep. They'll say Tigers points off the fingertips, though. So the Tigers will go up 3-1 here at home in the first set after the fingertip block put it out of bounds for the Eagles. And Ariana Burns will get her first point of the evening as she kind of tips over one that got a little too close to the net on the setup for the Eagles. Knocked it off its trajectory and just kind of screwed things up for the Eagles. And that serve by Evelyn is going wide right. So the Eagles will get back into it. 4-2 now is the lead for the Tigers. Here comes the serve from Lydia Fernango, and that serve is too deep, so the Tigers will get it right back. And Ariana Burns will drop back to serve this one for the Tigers. It's 5-2 here in this first set. Burns hits a little floater cross court, and it's floated across to Kaylee Johnson, who sets it up to Bristow. Bristow to Kaylee. It's blocked, and Johnson's unable to get it across. That's Mallory Hartle on the block. She had the big block earlier as well. It is 5-3 now. The Tigers lead. A little bit of a awkward get up there on the serve, but it is good, and this one will float across. Evelyn's under it. Johnson sets up for Bristow. Bristow goes for the tip over, but doesn't get it over the net. Just a little short on the floater. So it is a 5-4 ball game here in this first set. Back to serve is Mallory Hartle. She had the 2 blocks earlier, and it just barely gets over the net, and that'll be an ace for Mallory Hartle, who is already playing a great game already today. Leah Evelyn tried to dive for that one, but just couldn't get under it, and another bullet from Hartle. Johnson sets this one up outside for Norman. Norman can't keep it inside the lines. The Eagles take the lead here on the road in this first set, up 6-5 now over the Tigers after ripping off a 4-point run. And another bullet from Hartle. Johnson sets this up for Norman. Norman's going to just try and float it over, but Norman's off target again. Back-to-back shots from Norman go out of bounds, and the East Central Eagles are up 7-5 here in this first set. Hartle serves again. Another line drive. Lost it for a second there. This one's set up right side. The Tigers have it set up left side to Callie Norman. This one's inside the lines but defended, and they're just gonna, the Eagles are just gonna float this one across. The Tigers have it set up for Bristow, but it's returned, but it goes out of bounds on the return. Bristow gets her 3rd kill of this game already and brings the Tigers within 1. Now Bristow's back to serve. A solid serve, a soft setup here to the outside for the Eagles, but the Tigers are ready for it. Ella Dahl tries to tip it over, but cannot get it all the way over. 4 touches for the Tigers. That'll give the Eagles their 8th point here as they go up 8-6. It's the first set still. Elsie Lorson will get set to serve for the Eagles here as they maintain a 2-point lead. What should be a 2-point lead, I believe. The scoreboard hasn't changed, but the points were awarded to the Eagles. And this one's tipped over, so the Eagles will get that point anyways. They'll say, we didn't need your scoreboard. We'll take it anyways. And they've corrected the scoreboard now to the true score, which is 9-6. And Elsie Lorson will serve once again. This one goes to Bristow. Evelyn sets it up outside for Crimmins. And a rough touch for the Eagles from Chandra Nelson is going to get the Tigers right back in this. They're down 2 here in this first set. Elsie Lorson checks out as Brooke Sakala comes in. Johnson back to serve for the Tigers here. Some substitutions. Evelyn comes out. Marin Lindquist is in. Now Johnson will serve. A line drive down the sideline there. They'll set it up in the middle for the Eagles. Riley's on the defensive end. Johnson has it, sets it up outside for Lindquist. Lindquist gets a little bit of an awkward hit, but it catches the Eagles lacking just a bit. They are able to return fire. Johnson sets this up for Dahl, and that will be a double touch on the Tigers. So a couple of offensive errors here early for the Tigers have really kind of allowed the Eagles to dominate this first portion of the game. They're up 10-7. Johnson sets it up backwards for Norman. Norman with power sends that one right at the feet of an Eagles defender. And Norman gets her first kill. She started out with a couple inaccurate shots, but she seems to have found her rhythm here. Back to serve now is Caitlin Riley for the Tigers. It's a line drive, but the Eagles are able to get under it. And that'll be a kill for Lydia Fernango, who placed it with just the right amount of depth that that Cassidy Bristow could not properly defend it. Now serving for the Eagles is Kennedy Volk. Bristow receives. Johnson sets it up outside for Burns. It's defended well, and on the second tap, the Eagles send it over. Too much juice, though. The Tigers will bring it within 2. They're down 11-9 in this first set. Dahl serves. And that one will not get over the net off the first touch. Second touch wasn't quite willing to commit to it because it looked like it might go over. But a 1-point game now here in Pine River as the Tigers are down to the Eagles, 11-10. Bristow serves, and that serve is going to stay inside. Bristow with the ace. I lied, not Bristow. That'll be Ella Dahl with the ace. And it is tied game, 11-11. Dahl gets set to serve again. A line drive, much better defended this time by the Eagles. They're going to just float it back over. Riley gets under it. Johnson sets it up for Bristow. Bristow almost blocked at the net, but they keep it alive. Eagles send it back. Riley gets under it, sets it up for Burns. The Eagles manage to keep it alive. They are just surviving these power hits. Bristow finally finishes the deal there with her 4th kill. And the Tigers take a 12-11 lead coming back from their own deficit. Dahl set to serve once again now. Tigers back in the lead. Line drive set up inside for the Eagles. It's going to be a deep shot. Riley's there. Johnson sets it up for Burns. Burns' hit is going to... They'll give the Tigers the point. I believe it landed out of bounds, but may have been touched by an Eagles defender before it got there. So the Tigers will take a 13-11 lead, and a timeout is called. We'll be back after this short break.
Restock on food, fuel, and baits at locally owned Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Station 371 has bait and tackle, quality Cenex gasoline, off-road diesel, and is the only stop with #1 diesel. Make sure to stop by to wash off the sand and salt with their indoor car wash, open when the temp is at least 26 degrees. They'll hook you up with your fishing and hunting licenses too. Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Thank you for supporting local business.
Everybody, about 5 seconds left in this timeout. We are coming back. The Tigers are already on the court. The Eagles making their way out. For the Eagles, Mallory Hartle was a big driving force in what gave them an early lead here in this first set as Dahl serves. A floater from Dahl, far too deep, and the Eagles will get their first point after the break here. And they're now down 13-12 after that error from the Tigers. Chandra Nelson serves this one. Line drive defended by Burns. Johnson sets it up for Riley. Riley barely gets it over. The Eagles set up well on the left side, but Riley defends. Bristow's there, but the hit does not catch the Eagles off guard, and the Tigers are somehow going to get the ball back over the net after an incredible defensive series. Riley there to receive the Eagles hit. Johnson sets it up for Burns. Burns rides the top of the net and gets her first kill of the evening. Tigers go up 14-12. A close match so far here in this first set as Eveland comes in for Lindquist and Crimmins comes in for Johnson. Eveland set to serve for the Tigers. Bristow, Burns, and Crimmins make up the front court. The Eagles are there to, and the tip over almost catches and they'll give the point to the Tigers for a net touch on the Eagles. So a 3-point lead after an offensive error from the Eagles. Eveland set to serve this one. And And a line drive down the sideline. They'll keep that just inside, and Evelyn, one of the ace machines for this Tigers squad, will get her first of the evening. And the Tigers have a 4-point lead, 16-12 in this first set. Evelyn serves again. Line drive, left side, or right side, I suppose, from her point of view. And this one's a power hit down the middle by 28. Mallory Hartle gets her first kill. She's got 2 blocks and an ace so far in this game. That puts the Eagles back in this a little bit. 16-13 lead for the Tigers. Back to serve is Fernando for the Eagles. Evelyn going to try and set this up, but it'll go under the net. Point Eagles. A little bit of a goof up by the ref, pointed at the wrong team, even though that point clearly went to the Eagles. Fix that mistake. That serve is out of bounds for the Eagles, so the Tigers do get the point. Was waiting on confirmation. Timeout called. No, I capped. Substitution made for the Tigers as one of the younger Burns comes in, I believe. Here comes the serve from Ariana Burns. Received by Fernando, set up for Hartle. Tigers defend. Dahl able to float it back over. Hartle with the backwards touch over. Bristow set up now for a big hit. Well defended by the Eagles. Floated over by Elsie Lorson. Block attempt. The Eagles keep this one alive, although it's bouncing around in the ceiling. The rafters kind of gave the Eagles a bad break on that one. And a 18-14 lead here for the Tigers. And they hold serve. Ariana Burns back to do just that. And an awkward touch off by Hartle, but the Eagles are able to return. That one goes out of bounds. That point is to the Tigers as well. 19-14 lead for the Tigers. Up 5 here in this first set. They've trailed by as many as 3. But the Tigers have really turned it on here in this second part of this first set. It's been a back and forth series. Both teams have seemed to control the game at times. This is a Tigers timeout we're going through right now. Mallory Hartle's been a big part of the Eagles' success here in this first set. She's got a kill, 2 blocks, and an ace. Lydia Fernando also contributing offensively. For the Tigers, the offense has pretty much gone through Cassidy Bristow, but offensive mistakes from other players have really cost them in terms of where their lead could be at right now. They've given away quite a few points to the Eagles that the Eagles didn't have to earn. 5 seconds left in this timeout as the Tigers make their way out onto the court. Front court will be Norman, Lily Barkus, and Cassidy Bristow. Evelyn Dahl and Burns in the backcourt. Burns set to serve. Line drive, cross court, set up inside, floated. Barkus, set up for Barkus again. Barkus's hit is too deep. Offensive. Now they'll say Eagles point. A little bit of miscommunication between the referees going on here in Pine River, but here we are set up. The Eagles will serve. This is Mallory Hartle. She's got an ace already today. She hits drives on these serves. Set up for Norman. Defended well. Popped up by Nelson. Can't finish it off is Lorson. Bristow. This one goes up high. The Eagles are trying to keep it alive, but they will give that point to the Tigers, maintaining that 5-point lead here in the first set against the Eagles. Eagles are not falling out of this game, but they do need to kind of turn this around and get back up in the positive board. That's not gonna do it as a inaccurate set for the Eagles will give the Tigers another point. 21-15 lead for the Tigers. Backus comes out. Crimmins goes in for the Tigers. Bristow set to serve. And underneath that is Fernango. Sets it up to Nelson. Evelyn sets this up for Burns. Burns is going to hit that one into the net, though. So another offensive error keeping the Eagles in this one. And back to serve for the Eagles now will be Lorson, number 21. Lorson's one of those 5 seniors on this East Central Eagles squad. Believe they're all out on the court right now. Johnson sets this one up for Norman in the middle, and a little bit of an awkward tip. Soft touch, but the point will go to the Tigers. 22-16 is their lead here in this first set. 3 points to go for the Tigers. The Eagles desperately trying to claw their way back into this one as Brooke Sakala comes in for the Eagles. On the court right now, Madison Kuhlman, Chandra Nelson, Lydia Fernango, Mallory Hartle, and one other that I didn't get to. Hartle receives that one, sets it up for Nelson. Johnson sets this up backwards for Norman. Norman's shot is almost blocked, but takes a bounce into the Eagles' court, and the point will go to Norman, sorry. Johnson serves, hangs down the right side, and a mistargeted hit attempt from the Eagles will make this a 1-point game for the Tigers, as it is set point here for Kaylee Johnson and the Tigers. And an aggressive serve almost ends it there, but the Eagles are able to keep it alive. Norman sets this up for Dahl. Dahl goes with an attacking set, which kind of gives the Eagles a little bonus there, but Johnson now setting it up inside for Dahl. Well defended by the Eagles, but that one's going to ride out of bounds, and the Tigers will take set 1, 25-16. A closely fought battle, but the Tigers were able to pull away down at the end. We're going to cut to break and come back with the second set here in just a minute.
To live. Pine River, Backus, and PRB Schools. PRB Schools is a small school district with large district opportunities, providing activities and classes that involve students, making sure every student has everything to be successful. PRB Schools also offers a variety of community ed programs, a great way to learn new skills hands-on with others within the community, making connections with families, being involved with the community, becoming a community family. PRBschools.org. This year, Schrupp Excavating is celebrating 40 years of digging it right. With this milestone year, Schrupp Excavating wants to thank all of their past, current, and future employees and customers. They appreciate all you've done to help Schrupp Excavating become one of the most trusted companies in the Lakes area. For any excavation project, Schrupp Excavating will have your project done right and on time, serving Pine River, Backus, Pequot Lakes, and all the surrounding communities. Schrupp Excavating LLC, online at schruppexcavating.com.
Restock on food, fuel, and baits at locally owned Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Station 371 has bait and tackle, quality Cenex gasoline, off-road diesel, and is the only stop with #1 diesel. Make sure to stop by to wash off the sand and salt with their indoor car wash. Open when the temp is at least 26 degrees. They'll hook you up with your fishing and hunting licenses too. Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Thank you for supporting local business.
Back here, we got about a minute to go till this second set kicks off. The first set ended 25-16. Tigers win. It was a pretty, although the final score doesn't quite show it, it was a very hotly contested set. The Eagles led up until, I believe the turning point was they were up 11-8 on the Tigers early in the set, and the Tigers kind of turned things around and were able to start cooking towards the end of it, putting the Eagles away 25-16 by the end of that. So a very solid first set for the Tigers, but also a solid set from the Eagles, who have something they can build on there. A heartening performance from Mallory Hartle, who put up 2 blocks, an ace, and a kill for the Eagles there in that first set. Tigers are trotting out onto the court already. The lineup to start the second set will be Cassidy Bristow, Kaylee Johnson, Ella Dahl, Callie Norman, Ariana Burns, and Mimi Bukers. For the Eagles, Lydia Fernango, Mallory Hartle, Elsie Lorson, Chandra Nelson, Ashlyn Lowe, and Madison Kuhlman. Caitlin Riley's coming in for Ariana Burns for the Tigers. Both liberos on the court right now. Kaylee Johnson is set to serve for the Tigers. It's 0-0 here at the beginning of this second set. Johnson's serve is a line drive. Honestly, might have been out of bounds, but Ashlyn Lowe got under it defensively as the libero for the Eagles, and it rolled off her hands. A little bit of bad luck there for the Eagles, but a 1-0 start and an ace for Kaylee Johnson. And another bad dig from Ashlyn Lowe, and Johnson gets 2 aces to start this second set. Can she put up the hat trick here? No, another player defending. Nelson sets that up outside, and that hit is far too deep from Lydia Fernango. A 3-0 start for the Tigers. Johnson serves again. And Johnson will get the hat trick. Don't think that's quite an ace, but I'm going to count it because it's the playoffs, and that sounds cool. So a 4-0 start for the Tigers. Johnson serves again, set up outside for the Tigers. Crossbody to Norman. Johnson sets it up for Dahl, who floats it up. Nelson sets this up inside for Hartle, and Hartle's going to get it off the fingertips of Nelson. So first point for the Eagles as they're down 4-1 now here in this second set. Back to serve is Lydia Fernango, who kind of drops it right dead center in the court. Set up outside for Eagles, have it back. Johnson sets this one up for Norman. Norman powers through in a athletic-looking dig attempt, but a miss on the save for the Eagles. And the Tigers go up 5-1. Caitlin Riley is checked into the game to serve here for the Tigers. Ariana Burns also on the court now. That's an ace for Caitlin Riley. A 6-1 start for the Tigers. Lowe gets under it. Nelson sets this up, and a dud of a hit from Madison Kuhlman. It's going to kill the ball right there before it hits the net. A 7-1 start for the Tigers, and these Eagles are looking frustrated out on the court here. A line drive from Riley, tipped back over to the Eagles. The Tigers are rolling here in set 2. 8-1. Eagles just can't get a possession moving here. Team needs to come together here for East Central. Hartle's back to serve. She had 2 aces, or 1 ace in the first set. Riley's there defensively. Johnson sets this up for Burns. Burns with a cross body. Madison Kuhlman unable to defend it. They gave the point to the Eagles. I didn't see what it was, but it'll be 8-2 Tigers. Tigers hold serve. Dahl serves that one. Nelson sets it up outside for Lorson. Burns able to float it over. Nelson sets it up cross body and a little tip, and that'll be a good kill for Madison Kuhlman. She struggled here in this second set, but got a positive play there for her team, as the Tigers are now only up by 5, 8-3. Line drive hit from Lorson. Johnson sets this up outside for Bristow. Bristow with a power hit, takes an awkward bounce for the Eagles, and that'll go out of bounds. Lorson comes out. Brooke Sakala comes in for the Eagles. It's 9-3. Tigers lead. Mimi Bucher's set to serve for the Tigers. Set up outside for Nelson. Nelson kind of floats it off the top of the net. Johnson will set this up inside for Burns. Burns with a floater set up outside. A hammer hit from Fernango. Bristow with an athletic-looking kill attempt, but it's no good. That one's blocked by either Bristow or Johnson. Both of them got up for that. Give it to Johnson. And the Tigers lead 10-3. After making that big defensive play, Margaret Crimmins comes in for Kaylee Johnson. Evelyn serves that, a line drive defended by Hartle. The Eagles are able to get it back over. Burns gets under it. Evelyn sets it up for Bristow in the middle. Defense well played, and a awkward looking possession, but the Eagles will take it off the double touch or the float from the Tigers. So it's 10-4 now, as the Eagles are starting to fight their way back into this one. Evelyn sets this up for Bristow, kind of a little too far from the net, and that one goes out of bounds. Point Eagles. 10-5 lead for the Tigers here now. Set 2, they took the first set 25-16. They're up 5 here in the second set. Line drive, Riley has to dive for it. Crimmins able to float it across. Hartle defensively, and that one will go across off of Fernango. Bristow sets this up for Burns. It's blocked back by Kennedy Volk. The Tigers keep it alive. Set up backwards for the Eagles, but that hit is going to be way too deep off of Chandra Nelson. 11-5. Tigers get the point off of the offensive error from the Eagles. Ariana Burns will be back to serve now for the Tigers. On the court, Lily Barkus. Ariana Burns serves it dead center to Lowe. Nelson sets that up. Evelyn now has it set up for Bristow in the middle. Getting down for it is Kuhlman. Set up in the middle, tipped back. The Eagles looked like they were able to get it across, but they'll call that a foretouch, as the Tigers will take a 7-point lead, 12-5 here in this second set. Conversation with the ref going on between Mallory Hartle and the ref, but timeout called here by the home team, the Pine River-Backus Tigers. So we'll cut to a break real quick, and we'll come back after this timeout.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors and their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
And we are back as the teams make their way back out after that short timeout. Coming out for the Tigers, Ariana Burns is back to serve. Ella Dahl, Leah Eveland, Lily Barkus, Callie Norman, and Cassidy Bristow are on the court for the Tigers. Here comes the serve from Burns. Cross-court serve, and another awkward reception from Madison Kuhlman. An 8-point lead for the Tigers. They seem to be targeting Kuhlman on these serves. She's struggled to get a good angle on the ball here tonight, at least here in this second set. And here comes Burns again. See if she goes to the same spot. Different spot, this time to the libero, low, but same result. Back-to-back aces for Oriana Burns. Aces have been a surprisingly large part of the scoring here in this second set. The Tigers have 8 aces so far tonight. Nelson sets this up inside. It's blocked, but the Eagles keep it alive. Burns passes to Evelyn, sets to Bristow. That one's inbounds. Good kill for Bristow off the payoff from Evelyn. 14-5 lead for the Tigers. 15-5 lead for the Tigers as they lead by 10 here. They won the last set by 9, but it took a little bit more fighting to get there. This time, a dismal performance by the Eagles here in this second set is giving the Tigers everything they need. The Tigers, there defensively, it seems, and that hit from Backus is going to be out of bounds. So the Eagles will crawl back in off of an offensive error from the Tigers. Here comes the serve from Volk. Riley is there defensively, but Evelyn can't get it set up for another teammate, so back-to-back points go to the Eagles, 15-7, as Volk will get an ace there. Riley passes to Bristow, sets it up for Backus. Backus floats it over. This one will be set up for Hartle in the middle. Riley's there defensively. Evelyn sets it up backwards for Norman. The defense stays alive for the Eagles. Evelyn sets this one up for Bristow. Bristow's going to try and punch it over, but it'll be a double touch on the Tigers. So a 3-point run here for the Eagles as they start trying to crawl their way back in. 15-8. Here comes the serve from the Eagles. Evelyn trying to set this up for Bristow. Bristow on the crossbody will find points. That's Bristow's 6th kill. Evelyn's 3rd assist. And Bristow will serve now, up 16-8. Floater. This one's caught by the libero. Lowe, and Lowe is going to come out as Kennedy Volk steps into the game for Lowe. 17-8 lead for the Tigers. Here comes Bristow's serve once again. She got an ace on that last one. Ella Dahl there defensively off the one tap. It's set up for Dahl again, and Dahl's going to get it through the fingers of the defense. That's Dahl's first kill. And
Homegrown local radio.
Away team, the Eagles, so we'll be back after this short break.
Wide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us?
Great people.
All right, we are back here in Pine River. It's 18-8 here in set 2 as the Tigers are up by 10 at home against the Eagles here in the first round of the playoffs. Substitution coming in as Raina Hannikin, one of those 3 seniors for the Tigers, checks into the game to serve here. And Hannikin's going to get an ace on her first serve coming into the game. The Eagles have struggled to get good angles on some of these Tigers serves as Hannikin hits that one right towards Lowe, who struggled in defense tonight. Dahl's going to cross-body this, and that one they should have just let go for the Eagles, but Madison Kuhlman dives to try and save that one, and Dahl gets the point for the Tigers. It's a 20-8 lead for the Tigers. Here comes the serve from Hannikin. Set up backwards for the Eagles, and it's hit right at Hannikin. She's there defensively, though. Crimmon's going to just float this one back over kind of on the backhand, and Hartle's going to send it over. Not sure, they'll say a double touch on the Eagles. So a 13-point lead for the Tigers here in this second set. And Hannikin gets another ace. Didn't play almost at all in the first set. Timeout called here by the Eagles as they discuss what to do towards the end of this. We'll come back right after this break.
A wonderful place to live. Pine River, Backus, and PRB Schools. PRB Schools is a small school district with large district opportunities, providing activities and classes that involve students, making sure every student has everything to be successful. PRB Schools also offers a variety of community ed programs, a great way to learn new skills hands-on with others within the community, making connections with families, being involved with the community, becoming a community family. PRBschools.org. This year, Schrupp Excavating is celebrating 40 years of digging it right. With this milestone year, Schrupp Excavating wants to thank all of their past, current, and future.
All right, we are back here in Pine River for the first round of the volleyball playoffs here tonight. It's a lovely Wednesday evening, pretty nice weather. Raina Hannikin back to serve for the Tigers. They lead 22-8 here in this second set, and Hannikin finally with a bad serve. That one goes a little too deep. And the Tigers will get the ball back 22-9 now. Or not the Tigers, the Eagles will get the ball back 22-9. Senior Elsie Lawson's checking into the game in exchange for Brooke Sakala. The full senior lineup out there for the Eagles. Actually, that's not true. One senior's not out there. Johnson's going to pass this backwards to Bristow, who just takes it to pass over to the other side, and Hartle is unable to get that one over the net. So the Tigers get it right back and go up 23-9 here in set two. Johnson now back to serve for the Tigers. Johnson had 3 aces to start this set. See if she can finish it off with one here, as the Eagles are not going to be able to return fire off of the serve from Johnson. Won't quite count as an ace because it was passed around and just an offensive error to get it across. But it is set point here for the Tigers. Johnson hits a line drive right at the libero, who struggled for the Eagles today. Johnson will set this one up outside for Dahl. Dahl tries to get a little floater in, catch the defense off guard, and then tip it back after it comes over. And that'll be another kill for Mallory Hartle. She is up and down the net today, just all over the place defensively and offensively for the Eagles. They're going to need to see a lot more out of her, though, if they want to have a chance here in this third set. Going to need a much bigger performance. She's playing well, and here comes the hit across from Nelson. Should have let that one go, Johnson, but she doesn't. Ella Dahl floats it back over to the Eagles. The Eagles are able to return fire. Riley's there defensively. Johnson sets it up for Norman. Norman can't get the angle on the pass from Johnson. That one goes into the net. Still set point for the Tigers, 24-11. They lead by 13 here in the second set, but the Eagles are still fighting. Here comes the serve from the Eagles. Dahl passes to Norman, passes to Bristow, and just floats it across. Riley's there defensively. Johnson has it, sets it up for, and that point goes to the Eagles, who are on a little bit of a run here. That hit was off of Mimi Buchers, but just out of bounds. Here comes the serve from the Eagles, Lydia Fernango. Johnson passes backwards to Norman. Norman gets her through the hands of the defense, and Norman with an impressive kill there at the end of the second set to take the win, 25-21. to 12. The Tigers lead in sets 2-0. They win the second set 25-12. We'll be back after this short break with the third set.
Food, fuel, and baits at locally owned Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Station 371 has bait and tackle, quality Cenex gasoline, off-road diesel, and is the only stop with #1 diesel. Make sure to stop by to wash off the sand and salt with their indoor car wash, open when the temp is at least 26 degrees. They'll hook you up with your fishing and hunting licenses too. Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Thank you for supporting local business.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors and their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
The PRB Boosters are happy to sponsor coverage of the Tigers. Like them on Facebook for events and fundraisers. The PRB Boosters could use your help. Be part of great events and fundraisers, all built to give back and present more opportunities for the students of Pine River-Backus schools. For information or to get started, email prboosterclub1.com. Meetings are the first Monday of every month at...
And we are back here in Pine River. We're getting set for set number 3. Could be the final set here as the Tigers lead 2-0 in sets. The Eagles played very well in the first set. Second set, a little bit of a step down. The final score wasn't too different. The first set was 25-16. The Eagles played very well through the first half of that first set and then kind of struggled in the second part of that set. But here in set 2, it was an immediate 8-1 lead at one point for the Tigers as they started out hot and really never gave up that positioning that they had, taking it finally 25-12 after the Eagles were able to put together some scoring streaks in the second half of that set. Unfortunately for the Eagles, it was already over by that point. And so now we've got about 30 seconds to go here until the third set begins. The Tigers looking to put this game away and get home so they can rest up for next week of the playoffs. The Eagles hoping to put together an incredible streak and upset a confident Tigers team coming off of 3 back-to-back wins to keep themselves alive in the playoff race. Tigers starters are coming out onto the court now. Mimi Buchers, Ella Dahl, Cassidy Bristow, Callie Norman, and Kaylee Johnson. Ariana Burns as well for the Eagles. Kennedy Volk, Elsie Lorson, Mallory Hortle, Lydia Fernango, Chandra Nelson, and Madison Kuhlman. Brooke Sakala's out there actually instead of Elsie Lorson. The Eagles will serve first here in this third set, I believe. Yes. Back to serve will be Madison Kuhlman. A line drive to Riley. Johnson going to try and tip it over. The Eagles keep it alive. Riley rushing to get back in position. She does. Dahl is set up there, but the Eagles are able to defend, give themselves enough time to set up the return fire. Dahl's going to try and crossbody this one from an awkward angle. And in the middle, that one's blocked by Norman, but it is going to go out of bounds off the block. So the Eagles will get the point there at the beginning of set 3. Here comes the serve from Kuhlman. Johnson sets this one up awkwardly for Bristow, who floats it across. Set up there by Sakala. Johnson hits this outside for Dahl. It's slammed out of bounds for Kennedy Volk. So Dahl does get the point there. In comes Lowe, Hayden Lowe, the other Lowe, not the libero, Ashlyn Lowe, in exchange for Sakala for the Eagles. Here comes the serve from Johnson. It's tipped up to Nelson, who sets it up outside for Fernango. Dahl goes for the tip over. Nelson's there defensively. Volk sets it up for Fernango. Johnson sets this one up outside for Norman. Hartle sets it up for Volk. And a big kill from Volk, who makes an incredible play. Catches, hits it to the right side, gets Caitlin Riley, the libero for the Tigers, out of position, and then on return fire, hits it right back to where Riley was originally. She couldn't get back to it. A huge play for the Eagles, and they go up 2-1 here in this set. Johnson sets that up crossbody for Buchers, and an awkward angle off the hands for Volk. Does the Eagles no favor. It's a tie game here, 2-2. The Tigers will take serve here. Norman comes out for Burns. Caitlin Riley will serve. Riley did have an ace in the last set. It seemed like almost everyone who served last set for the Tigers got an ace. And this one's tipped down by Buchers, and the return fire goes out of bounds from the Eagles. So the Tigers will take a 1-point lead here early in this third set, up 3-2 now. Riley will serve again. Line drive, that one's going to be too deep. So a serving error for Riley, and it'll be a tie game here once again, 3-3. Back to serve for the Eagles, Chandra Nelson. She line drives this one towards Riley. Riley passes to Johnson, sets up to Buchers. Buchers is able to find the soft spot in the Tigers' defense. So the Tigers will go up 4-3, and here comes the serve from Dahl. Nelson sets up. It's slapped back, but the Eagles are able to get it back over. Johnson sets up for Buchers again. Lowe passes to Fernango. Johnson trying to get something set up. Burns gets an awkward hit to the net. They are going to give that point to the Tigers off of a line penalty, I believe is what it's called. But when one of the Eagles girls stepped on the line. 5-3, Tigers ball. Ella Dahl serves here. Line drive. Receiving is Hartle. And Fernango line drives that one down, but Johnson's able to get the dig. And the setup across to Burns. Kuhlman is unable to defend. So Burns will get in on the scoring here. 6-3 lead for the Tigers. So they're on a little bit of a run here. 3 points in a row. Here comes the serve from Dahl. Defended by Lorson. Nelson sets it up. It's tapped over. Burns has it on a power hit here. It's one hit back. Johnson is going to set this up backwards for Buchers. Buchers is blocked. I'm not sure if that was Mallory Hartle or Elsie Lorson. I believe it was Hartle again. Third block of the game. That hit's going to be, they'll give that point to the Tigers. 7-4. I didn't see who hit that one, but it carried just barely hit the line. And that'll be a Tigers point. Johnson comes out for Brewer. Eveland also in the game now. Eveland serves. Cross body. Hartle there defensively. Fernango sets this one up for Nelson. Nelson's hit is too strong. It'll be an 8-4 lead now for the Tigers off of the offensive error from the Eagles. Eveland set to serve once again. Line drive, Hartle. It's going to go off the fingertips of Hartle. So Eveland will get another ace to her name here tonight, and a timeout will be called by the Eagles. 9-4, Tigers lead here in set 3. We'll be back after this.
At the school. Good luck, Tigers, from the PRB Boosters. The PRB Boosters are happy to sponsor coverage of the Tigers. Like them on Facebook for events and fundraisers. The PRB Boosters could use your help. Be part of great events and fundraisers, all built to give back and present more opportunities for the students of Pine River-Backus schools. For information or to get started, email prboosterclub1.com. Meetings are the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at the school. Good luck, Tigers, from the PRB Boosters.
We are back here in Pine River. Timeout cut a little short there. Neither team needed it for that long. Eveland is back to serve for the Tigers. They hold a 9-4 lead here in set 3. They took the first 2 sets. And Nelson's going to set this one for Hartle, who does get it over. Burns going to try and cross body. The Eagles are there defensively, though. Riley makes a athletic play to keep the play alive. Burns taps it over and is going to catch the defense on their knees there. No kill for Burns because it was on a return error for the Eagles, but a very impressive play there to get them out of position. Evelyn serves. This one goes straight up into the rafters off the return. Riley's there defensively after the hit from Hartle. And, Hartle almost got her 4th block on Burns, but no good there. So an 11-4 lead for the Tigers. And Evelyn set to serve again. This one's going to carry too long for Evelyn. So it'll be 11-5. And the Eagles will hold serve now as Mallory Hartle is back deep to do just that. She does have an ace so far in today's game. Can she do it again? No. Riley's there. Bristow passes this one to Buchers, I believe. No, that's Brewer. Hartle able to tip it over. Evelyn sets it up for Bristow in the middle. Bristow finds the soft spot. 7 kills tonight for Bristow off of the setup from Evelyn. Her 5th assist of the night. 12-5 lead for the Tigers. Burns now back to serve. Burns serve, hugs the right sideline, set up backwards for the Eagles. Got through the hands of the defense. See if the Tigers keep it alive. They do. Bristow does so. This one's set up outside for Lorson. Evelyn tries to set it up for Bristow, and Bristow with a power hit. Too fast for the defense to keep up with it. The Tigers go up 13-5. Bristow, 8 kills now on the night. Here comes the serve from Burns. And Burns gets the ace. She had 2 in the last set. She gets her first of this set. 3 on the night so far. Burns serves again. Tigers up 14-5. Eagles are able to keep this one alive. Evelyn passes to Norman. Norman sets up for Bristow in the middle, and Bristow does it again. Norman gets her first assist. Bristow with 9 kills on the evening so far. The Tigers lead 15-5 here in set 3. Burns serve, hugs that left sideline right from her point of view. Burns passes to Evelyn, passes backwards to Norman. Norman's blocked. I will call that a block because it's cooler than whatever else it would be. That's Chandra Nelson involved in the block there. And it is 15-6. Serve goes to Riley. She passes to Evelyn, who sets this up for Brewer. Brewer's hit is defended. That point goes to the Eagles for a net touch on Brewer. So it's 15-7. Tigers lead. They were at this point at one point in the previous match, and the Eagles went on a little bit of a run after that. Riley passes to Evelyn. and it's blocked again. Bristow sets this one up for Brewer off the fingertips, and the Eagles are going to try and power that one over, but just a little finger roll from Kuhlman is not enough to get it over the net. The Tigers get the point, 16-7. Bristow checking out in exchange for Raina Hannikin. She had 2 aces last time she came on the court. See if she does the same thing here. Line drive, hits the net, and that'll be an ace for Hannikin, as she does make it 3 aces on the night. 17-7 lead for the Tigers. Now they're up by 10 here in this third set. Getting ready to put this one away, and Hannikin, that one does not get the luck of the net, and the Eagles will get the ball back. They're down 9 here in set 3. They need a little bit of a miracle to come through. Kuhlman serves. Riley's there defensively. Evelyn sets this up forwards for Norman. Norman gets the kill. Evelyn on the assist. That's 6 assists for Evelyn. That's 4 kills for Norman on the night. Johnson coming in for Brewer. Buchers coming in for Evelyn. Kaylee Johnson will serve. It's a 18-8 lead. They were at this point in the last set as well. And that'll be an ace for Kaylee Johnson. 4 aces on the night for Kaylee Johnson. A huge performance from the serving line. And as the Tigers go up 19-8, 11-point lead. Getting ready to put this one to bed here. A floater from Johnson that time. Can't all be perfect. Gives the Eagles the ball back. Tigers lead 10. Here is Ava Burns checking in for Kaylee Johnson, who I guess just came in to serve. And Ava Burns is on the court now. She'll be in the front court with Callie Norman and Mimi Buchers. Ella Dahl, Raina Hannikin, and Caitlin Riley make up the backcourt and immediately get targeted, as that is an ace for Kennedy Volk of the Eagles. Volk set to serve again. Line drive, tips off the top of the net. Dahl is there this time. Burns sets this one up. The Eagles are able to keep it alive. Tip over from Ferningo. Riley unable to keep that one up. So Tigers score, making it a 9-point game now. 8-point game actually, 19-11. Here comes the serve from Volk. Burns sets that up. Volk trying to make a play. That's actually Sakala who tried to make the play defensively. Could not. Point goes to the Tigers. It's 20-11. Riley will be back to serve. Ariana Burns comes into the game. So I will clarify. Number 13 is Ava Burns. Number 21 is Ariana Burns. Here comes the serve from Riley, a big hitter. Fernango sets this one up for Nelson. Buchers is there. Ava sets it up to Ariana. Ariana almost with the power kill, but this one comes back across for Ariana. It goes back to Buchers, to Hannikin, who floats it over. And Fernango is unable to get it over the net. So it'll go up to a 21-11 lead for the Tigers here at the end of this third set. 4 points to go for the Tigers, and it is a night and a playoff win at home for the Tigers. Of course, technically I do have to wait those 4 points to say that out loud, so pretend I didn't. Got a timeout going on here for the Eagles. We'll be back right after this very short break.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Riley is back to serve for the Tigers as we get set to finish off this third set. into the game for the Tigers is Autumn Burns. So Autumn Burns, Ava Burns, and Ariana Burns are all on the court for the Tigers, and that will not get confusing at all for me here at the end of the game. Fortunately, Riley doesn't want to give anybody any playing time, as she gets an ace right there to put the Tigers up 22-11 at the end here of this third set. Riley set to serve again, another pistol shot down the right sideline. Hartle able to get it over. Dahl's going to get an aggressive set here. This one will be set up outside for Nelson. Nelson hits that one too deep. 23-11 for the Tigers, as an inability to stay consistent on offense for the Eagles has really cost them. And getting consistently bad angles on defense has really put a damper on what could have been a great game for them. This hit is out of bounds for Lydia Fernango. 24-11, game point for the Tigers here in the first round of the playoffs. Here is Caitlin Riley. Ariana Burns checks out, so now only 2 Burns on the court as Evelyn Peterson comes in for the Tigers. Riley set to serve. And off the fingertips, Riley's going to put it to bed with an ace. Caitlin Riley with her 3rd ace of the night. A popular theme among the Tigers here tonight is just all the aces. Lots of points came that way for the Tigers, but this will be the end of the season for the Eagles and their 5 seniors, the end of their high school volleyball careers. Very sad sight right now, but we're going to cut to break. We're going to talk to some very happy winners here on the Tigers, and we'll be back right after this.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Minnesota.
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Activities Administrators Association.
Great people, economic viability, a wonderful place to live. Pine River, Backus, and PRB Schools. PRB Schools is a small school district with large district opportunities, providing activities and classes that involve students, making sure every student has everything to be successful. PRB Schools also offers a variety of community ed programs, a great way to learn new skills hands-on with others within the community, making connections with families, being involved with the community, becoming a community family. PRBschools.org. This year, Schrupp Excavating is celebrating 40 years of digging it right. With this milestone year, Schrupp Excavating wants to thank all of their past, current, and future employees and customers. They appreciate all you've done to help Schrupp Excavating become one of the most trusted companies in the Lakes area. For any excavation project, Schrupp Excavating will have your project done right and on time, serving Pine River, Backus, Pequot Lakes, and all the surrounding communities. Schrupp Excavating LLC, online at schruppexcavating.com.
Restock on food, fuel, and baits at locally owned Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Station 371 has bait and tackle, quality Cenex gasoline, off-road diesel, and is the only stop with #1 diesel. Make sure to stop by to wash off the sand and salt with their indoor car wash, open when the temp is at least 26 degrees. They'll hook you up with your fishing and hunting licenses too. Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Thank you for supporting local business.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors and their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
The PRB Boosters are happy to sponsor coverage of the Tigers. Like them on Facebook for events and fundraisers. The PRB Boosters could use your help. Be part of great events and fundraisers, all built to give back and present more opportunities for the students of Pine River-Backus schools. For information or to get started, email prboosterclub1.com. Meetings are the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at the school. Good luck, Tigers, from the PRB Boosters.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in Minnesota.
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Activities Administrators Association.
Great people, economic viability, a wonderful place to live. Pine River, Backus, and PRB Schools. PRB Schools is a small school district with large district opportunities, providing activities and classes that involve students, making sure...
And we are back here in Pine River right after the Tigers sealed off a 3-0 win in the first round of the playoffs against the East Central Eagles, which is a little bit of a mouthful for me. Just the EA sounds threw me off. We're going to have some awards winners coming out here in just a minute as Ella Dahl and Raina Hannikin are making their way up here to receive their awards. But I'm going to run through our stats as quickly as possible before they get up here. They are going fast, though. Cassidy Bristow had 9 kills and an ace. Kaylee Johnson had 7 assists, a block, and 4 aces. Mimi Bukers had a kill. Ella Dahl, 2 kills, 1 ace. Callie Norman, 4 kills, an assist. Ariana Burns, 2 kills, 3 aces. Caitlin Riley, 3 aces. Leah Evelyn, 6 assists, 2 aces. And Raina Hannikin, 3 aces. Hi, welcome up here, guys. All right, now I've got Ella Dahl and Raina Hannikin joining me here tonight. I'm going to have you guys use this as a mic. It is a little busted right now. You just grab this part and hold it near your mouth, all right? There you go. Don't worry about it. It was broken before you got here. So, all right, congrats on the big playoff win here tonight, guys. Probably a good feeling win. I know you may not have been on this team, but you were a sophomore a couple years ago when you guys beat the Eagles in the first round of the playoffs as well. How does it feel to get this win, especially you're coming off 3 wins at the end of the season, and you've really built that momentum carrying into the playoffs here?
It feels really good. We've been working hard this whole week to get to this point and get us prepared for the rest of the season. So I'm really glad that we were able to pull it off.
And we're working to become more consistent, and it's really paying off.
Awesome. Hannikin, you had 3 aces tonight there in between the second and third sets, I believe. Big turn of events for you coming onto the court and immediately sank 2 aces on them right away, which was pretty awesome to do. You're one of only 3 seniors on this varsity roster. How does that feel for you to be able to come in and really make an impact for your team in the playoffs?
I love it. It's a lot of hard work put in, a lot of hours, so proud that it can finally come together.
Absolutely. All right. Big win tonight. You guys, in the first set, they battled you pretty hard, but in the second and third sets, you were really able to take control and dominate tonight. What kind of play are you expecting to see this team have going into the next few games? Do you think this team could really go all the way?
I definitely think that we can with the time and energy we put in. We've been really pushing hard for this moment since last year, so I'm really hoping to, and I think we will.
Yeah, we definitely have the skill level, the hard work ethic, and the energy, so I think we'll definitely make it far.
Awesome. Well, you guys work hard and play harder. So have a great night. I'm going to give you guys some awards here in just a second. I just got to shoot an ad break. Ella Dahl, you're my star of the game. Raina Hannikin, you're our energy player of the game. We'll be right back after this break.
Everything to be successful. PRB Schools also offers a variety of community ed programs, a great way to learn new skills hands-on with others within the community. Making connections with families, being involved with the community, becoming a community family. PRBschools.org. This year, Schrupp Excavating is celebrating 40 years of digging it right. With this milestone year, Schrupp Excavating wants to thank all of their past, current, and future employees and customers. They appreciate all you've done to help Schrupp Excavating become one of the most trusted companies in the Lakes area. For any excavation project, Schrupp Excavating will have your project done right and on time, serving Pine River, Backus, Pequot Lakes, and all the surrounding communities. Schrupp Excavating LLC, online at schruppexcavating.com.
Restock on food, fuel, and baits at locally owned Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Station 371 has bait and tackle, quality Cenex gasoline, off-road diesel, and is the only stop with #1 diesel. Make sure to stop by to wash off the sand and salt with their indoor car wash, open when the temp is at least 26 degrees. They'll hook you up with your fishing and hunting licenses too. Station 371 on Highway 371 in Pine River. Thank you for supporting local business.
Are back. Had to give out those awards real quick to those girls. They really earned it, especially Raina Hannikin with those 3 aces. Anyways, and now we're back. We're going to run through the stats for the Eagles team. I wasn't able to get to them before the girls got up here. So for the Eagles, Chandra Nelson, one of those 5 seniors on this team, did get a big block, but kind of struggled with hitting throughout the night. She seemed to be more of an assist generator. And she did get several assists, but I just was struggling to keep up with the pace of the game at certain points and was not able to track some of those stats. So Lydia Fernango got a kill. Mallory Hartle had 2 kills, 3 blocks, and an ace. If they had come through, it would have been off of her hand. She started strong in the first set, and although her play fell off kind of in the beginning and middle of the second set, she really came through at the end of the second set and into the third set. Kennedy Volk had a kill, a block, and 2 aces. She was also part of the kind of resurgence they experienced in the late half of the second set, as her decisiveness and ability to strike the ball really helped the Eagles kind of crawl their way back in as much as they could, down by 10-plus points. And Madison Coolman had a kill here for the Eagles tonight as well. Those are your stats for the playoff game here. And it does appear that Cassidy Bristow may have found her 1,000th dig as well. I see her holding a sign out there. That's something Caitlin Riley achieved earlier this season. Now Bristow does as well. Those are 2 of the seniors 2 of the 3 seniors on this volleyball team. So Riley, a couple weeks removed from her 1,000th dig, Bristow getting her 1,000th dig here in the playoffs, and the 3rd senior Raina Hannikin winning Energy Player of the game. So a big night for the Tigers 3 seniors, as they will hopefully be able to carry that momentum with them into the upcoming playoff games. With that, I'm going to cut us to break one more time, see if there's anything I'm forgetting to say. When we come back, I'll finish us off and get us going here tonight.
Every Wednesday night at 7, watch the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region, as we'll hear from area coaches in North Dakota and Minnesota. Plus, we'll highlight area high school seniors and their achievements in the classroom and on the court with our Senior Spotlight. That's the YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show, presented by the Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday nights at 7 on YourLiveEvent.com.
The PRB Boosters are happy to sponsor coverage of the Tigers. Like them on Facebook for events and fundraisers. The PRB Boosters could use your help. Be part of great events and fundraisers, all built to give back and present more opportunities for the students of Pine River-Backus schools. For information or to get started, email prboosterclub1.com. Meetings are the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at the school. Good luck, Tigers, from the PRB Boosters.
That's all I'm missing. That's all I have for you tonight, I suppose. Nothing really else for me to mention tonight other than I don't currently have the bracket, so I don't know where the Tigers will be playing or who they'll be playing next round. But a big win for them here in the first. We'll wait for the brackets to come out, and you will hear about that shortly. As we get set for the Tigers to enter round 2 of the playoffs. I'm Cullen Bosman. This was an absolute pleasure to watch here in Pine River and the opening playoff matchup between the Tigers and the Eagles, who were on the road. A unfortunate loss for the East Central Eagles, but the home team Tigers will definitely carry this momentum with them into the playoffs and ensuing off season. You heard it from the girls themselves. They really do believe that they can take this team all the way. I'm Cullen Bosman signing off for the night. Have a good night.